Hello, my name is Cindy Matalucci, and you're watching The Pulse, where we get the 411 on all the latest and greatest things to do in this amazing city, San Diego. From the newest bars and restaurants to the chicest boutiques, to the gyms and the trainers that are getting the people of this city buff 365 days a year, to the place you want to go to get your spa on. I'm exploring it all for you, and of course, having fun along the way. So, come with me while we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego. This episode of The Pulse was brought to you by Flax for Life. Flax for Life is celebrating 20 years in business. This family-run business has continued to come up with new and exciting flax-based gluten-free products. This month, we're spotlighting one of our favorite Flax for Life products, their muffins. For more information on Flax for Life, you can go to the website flaxforlife.net. Be sure to use our coupon code THEPULSE to save 15% off your order. On today's episode, we start our show in studio with our financial expert, Windus Fernandez Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial Services. She's giving us the scoop on the wealth gap and how much money you really need to retire. We then go on location with Elite Networking Group to their wellness event at Pier to Point Wellness in Point Loma. We end our show on location for a fun travel segment in Nashville, Tennessee at Belle Meade Winery. Celebrating 200 years of history, legendary hospitality, and the dedication to preserve their heritage for future generations, this is a place you must visit. Everyone I know right now is talking about their finances and getting everything in order. After the last year we had, it has really been stressful. Well, have no fear. We have our financial expert, Windus Fernandez Brinkkord from Trilogy Financial here to guide us through all of this and more. Check this out. We have our financial expert and our sponsor here today, Windus Fernandez Brinkkord.
Thanks for having me.
From Trilogy Financial, we love having you. We love having you answer our burning questions.
Lots of ones. The last few times I've been on, there have been some really interesting questions.
We always get good ones. So, okay, so for people that don't know about Trilogy Financial, just tell everybody a little bit about what Trilogy does.
So our focus as a financial planning firm is to really understand, what are you working towards and how we can help you understand better where to put your money, how to manage your money. So we really focus on the financial planning, not just the asset management.
Well, and I love that. And what you guys say is you're more than financial planners, you're life planners. Which I know.
I love that part of that part of the work we do.
Yeah, and I can attest to that because you're my financial planner, and it's like we sit down, we have our wine, we talk about everything. It's more than just like, oh, I'm a financial planner. It's you get in there.
We do keep wine in the office for people who need it.
And we do need that. And the other thing I love about you guys is you guys offer financial coaching, right? Personalized plans. You have a client portal. I mean, There's a lot that you do.
Absolutely. So we'll do everything from helping you understand where your money is going to making sure that you know what it takes to live the lifestyle you want to live and just really embrace all aspects of your finances.
Yeah, and the client portal I like too because you can upload, you can store information, you can have documents in there, right? Everything's secure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So above and beyond. Okay, well, we love it. So today we're going to dive into some burning questions that we got. So we're going to talk about the wealth gap. I'm already scared. I'm already afraid.
Right. So essentially when Cindy and I were talking about the show and topics, in 2020, I picked up a new license. It was my pandemic goal, Certified Exit Planning Advisor. And the way that integrates into financial planning is we meet with a lot of business owners who invest so much of their wealth into their business, right? You have to build your brand. Often you have to rebrand at some point. You have employees and all these laws and then at some point you get to you're ready to retire and you sell your business. But the sale price of your business, a lot of business owners don't anticipate the amount of taxes you might end up paying, all the fees that go into this transaction. And so in the end, the difference between what they needed and what they sold for is what we call the wealth gap.
Okay.
So we want to sit down with business owners to be really proactive 3 to 5 years out of retirement and help them understand what does it take to live your lifestyle? How much wealth have you accumulated outside of your business? What is the business valuation going to look like? We have a team of experts we can bring in to help make sure that we're getting the numbers right. What is the EBITDA you might get? What does all of this look like?
Okay.
And then if you're going to sell your business for this and net this, do you have enough to transition into retirement? And if not, what do we need to do to adjust?
So when would somebody start working with you on something like that?
My goal is 3 to 5 years out of retirement to make sure that we have options. When you have a runway to retire, maybe it's determining you need to work 1 more year. Maybe it's determining you need to bring in some type of a business expert or coach to restructure certain aspects to bring the valuation up. There's a lot of options, but I recently just took on a new client in the selling process. Like, we're already in escrow to sell the business. I can't do a lot to change things when we're already there.
Yeah.
So the goal is to have a little bit of time.
Okay, but you can sit there and say, all right, you're selling your business. This is what you're selling the business for. This is what you're going to do with this as far as like everything that's going to happen. And then what do you say, like, what's a tip for somebody when they're, dealing with this?
Yeah, like what kind of a tip?
Like a tip as far as like financially, is it more of like analyzing the business first and making sure that they analyze everything?
Well, it's making sure that they understand all the various ways that you can sell your business. I mean, you can form an employee ownership plan. You can actually set up a defined benefit plan and sell your business and have shares going there. There's a lot of strategies to mitigate taxes upon sale of a company.
Okay.
And so I think that my tip would be making sure that you haven't made a decision how you're going to do it until you get educated on your options.
That's smart. I like that. Okay, perfect. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was inflation.
Ah, yes.
This is a big, everyone's talking about gasoline prices. We're talking about airline tickets. Everyone's going nuts with inflation.
Yeah, there's a lot of conversation around inflation right now, and I feel like, if you go back to the last major recession, 2008, 2009, and everyone felt like we were going to have this huge flood of inflation following that recession, and it didn't happen. And quite frankly, some inflation is normal and good and anticipated. Like, we still use an average rate of inflation in our financial planning of 2.56.
Okay.
We look at rolling periods in the market, and we're not even seeing 2.56 in inflation right now.
Wow.
Do I believe that there's the potential for it to tick up? Yes. I'm just not so sure that I've bought into this idea of runaway inflation of 4% and greater. I haven't seen why that's going to happen. I do think that the media is spending a lot of time focusing on it, and maybe that's just the thing that people are worried about, and so that's why they're focusing on it. But I don't think it hasn't hit runaway inflation, and no one can say for sure if it's going to.
Do we need to budget for inflation? Is there a way to, how does that work?
You shouldn't, cost of goods go up over time, and this is why we have cost of living adjustments and our income. So in many respects, people have already technically kind of budgeted for inflation, as long as you're getting your cost of living adjustments on an annual basis. So for employees I have who haven't gotten raises in a while, I do really encourage people to always make sure that they're asking for that adjustment annually and not being shy about it, because inflation does occur over time.
And putting that down in your budget, right? Putting all the things down that you need to put out on a regular basis.
Well, certain things go up and down. Like, I think you can see gas prices have gone up, they've gone down, they've gone up, they've gone down. Like, they do, it does look like they go up over time, but there have been times where we've been in recessions and they've come down quite a bit. So it's just paying attention.
I know, it's so funny. We were coming back from Sedona, and we were coming out of Arizona and entering into California, and the gas stations right there.
Oh my gosh.
Insanity. Everybody was like trying to get their gas before we got
California.
into San Diego. Right? It was so funny. It was nuts. And it was actually like almost $2 less.
Yep.
So, I guess it every little bit helps. Okay, so inflation. So don't stress too much about it. That's good. And then what I love about you is you come from a family background of property management. Right?
Yes.
So I know you know a lot about property and property management and those kind of things. And I know one of the questions that we're getting a lot, because, let's be real, people are selling homes, they're buying homes, it's a crazy market. We were just talking about the median price of living in California and buying a house is like $825,000 or something like that.
It's gone up to that much. I didn't have a recent pulse on that actual median price. It's incredible.
Yeah, $825,000.
So here's an example of something that is outpacing inflation. So, however, housing markets, they have had corrections. So what contributed to the last housing correction was the fact that we also had very poor lending habits. Now, I have not seen lending get out of control like it did in 2005, 2007. We haven't seen that level of pressure in the lending world. having said that, I do think that the pandemic caused a lot of people to move around, maybe even leave city centers, driving prices up, even leave states like California, driving prices up in other areas because our buying power from the sale of a house here somewhere else. I do think that that will simmer down. There is a chance that as the Fed does decide to raise interest rates, most likely in 2022, if not 2023, when they do raise rates, there's a chance that that is going to put some pressure on the housing market. Because right now, if you're getting a loan for 3.25%, 3.5%, I mean, these are near historic lows. But when that goes back up more to a normal range of mid 4s or even 5s, like in 2018, you weren't getting an interest rate below the 5% range.
Yeah.
So when we do see that hit the housing market, I think that's either going to cause like more of stagnation in the housing market or maybe even a little bit of a pullback. I can't say a bubble, although I am hearing people talk about a bubble more. It's too hard to tell.
Well, yeah, and can we touch on like capital gains a little bit?
Yeah, so
because
like
that's a big thing. Everyone's asking
when you sell a
about
house,
that.
like there are certain expenses that you put into your house that you can add to your cost basis. So if you buy a house, and by the way, this is like financial planning type of advice, not tax advice. Whenever you go to sell a house, you should definitively talk to a tax professional.
Talk to your CPA.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I'll put that little like compliance note here. How, you know, if you bought a house for $500,000 and you're single and you're selling it for $1 million, you only have a $250,000 exclusion. Now, when you're married, you each get the exclusion. So if you're married and you're selling that same house, you're actually not going to pay taxes on it if it's your primary residence. If it's not your primary residence, or sorry, if you're single, you're now going to have to pay capital gains, both federal and state, on the $250,000 gain. And I think that there's some confusion with this because I see people all the time super aware of the federal side and unaware that you have to also pay the state tax. And this pertains to dividends on your stock portfolio or capital gains on your stock portfolio. It's always both sides of the taxes. It's not just the federal tax.
So what do you think? Do you have a recommendation for people if they are looking to, like, you know, because from a financial standpoint, they have to budget this. If they are going to sell their home or they're thinking about purchasing a home, I mean, what tips do you have for them?
Well, and also this goes back almost to the same conversation we had with the business owner. I mean, make sure you have education about what the actual costs are going to be of the sale. So meet with your real estate professionals, talk to your other financial planning professionals or CPAs so that you don't count your eggs before they hatch and think that you're going to have more in your pocket at the sale of that house than you really are.
Well, and I think the other thing that's kind of stressful talking to a lot of real estate agents is that if you sell your home, are you going to buy another home, and can you find another home in time? Like, that's the other. There's a lot going on.
It also depends on if you're leaving the state. Like, we have a lot of people who are increasing the conversation regarding the 1031 exchange.
Yes.
Which pertains to rental property, not your primary residence. And if you, for example, I was just talking to our CPA about this week because we had another situation with this, but if you're 1031ing from California out of state, you don't just get rid of California, because if that original house was in California, they're going to be tracking you for when you sell that because they want their part of this capital gain when you eventually sell.
Yes.
So there's actually a form you have to file with the state of California on an annual basis. And if you're in a 1031 situation and you forget to file the form, you trigger the gain at that point. So just, you know, again, being educated by all the little details of what you of the investment or the decision or the transaction. So much to know.
Well, yes, and the 1031 exchange allows for the tax on the gain from the sale of a property to be deferred rather than eliminated. The property subject to the 1031 exchange must be for business or investment purposes, not for personal use.
Right.
But check with your CPA. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really important. And you work with a lot of accountants. And
yeah, I think like what's becoming more common in financial planning for couples and everyone is that you want a team that can collaborate. Your tax person, your tax professional, your CPA, your financial planner should be in communication to help. We look at things very differently, and that can help improve your plan.
Well, and I love it too because for you, you take the stress out of it. It's like let's not stress about it. Let's put a plan in action.
And once you see the numbers on paper, I mean, there's little ways where you can start to make small adjustments that make really big impacts in your long-term success.
And what would you say before we go? What would you tell people that are overwhelmed with their financial situation?
Well, I really feel like people feel overwhelmed because they haven't taken charge of their financial situation. And by getting organized, looking at everything that you have, where you spend your money, and really taking ownership of your options will help take a lot of the anxiety away.
And they can do a consult with you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so if they're looking for that or they want to talk to you, they have questions, and they can go to trilogyfs.com/Windus.
Yes.
For more information. And what do you love about your job? What do you love that you do?
I answered this yesterday for someone. I love that I get to help people feel empowered to live their best lives. And I also love that I know where to bury the bodies with you. Like, there are just things that we know about our clients that you were like, that stays and dies with us.
But it's great. It's such a bond that you have, and I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, even Abner works with you too in our studio. So we love it. We love it. Okay, well, I want to say thank you so much for coming on. You always are such a great resource, and you'll be back, you know, probably next quarter with some more information. So if there's any specific topics you want to tackle with us, tell us so that we can answer those questions for you, because we love that. We love bringing you on and just having, you know, that resource. So stay tuned for that, you guys. Go to if you need a consult with Windus, we'll have everything on the website. Check her out. She's fabulous. And how long have you been doing this now?
18 years.
Look how young she looks too. She started when she was 5. 18 years. I love this. For more information on Windus and her team, you can go to trilogyfs.com/Windus. When we come back, we're on location at Pier to Point Wellness Center. We want to congratulate our sponsor, Flax for Life, for celebrating 20 years in business. This family-run business has continued to come up with new and exciting flax-based gluten-free products. It's celebration time, and we are celebrating and showcasing one of our favorite products, their muffins. These hearty and flavorful muffins are packed full of nutrients that your taste buds will love. Each muffin is loaded with omega-3s, fiber, and healthy protein. Enjoy them for breakfast, afternoon snack, or just a sweet and hearty treat. They come in 6 delicious flavors, including blueberry, carrot raisin, chocolate chip, cranberry orange, apple cinnamon, and Hawaiian pineapple. My favorite is the carrot raisin. They also come in single-serve options, which we serve on the Pulse set. Your favorite muffin in a more convenient grab-and-go package. There's 1 muffin per package and 12 packages per case. Healthy on the go, never tasted so good. You can also order a grab-and-go single-serve sample pack. Here's your chance to try the most popular flavors of brownies and muffins all in one box. Get a taste of all their single-serve packages and discover your new favorite product. You can also go to their website to find out how to locate a store near you to find Flax for Life. Go to flaxforlife.net to purchase your items directly. Happy birthday, Flax for Life. We're excited to celebrate you. Welcome back to The Pulse. I'm your host, Cindy Mattalucci. We love partnering with Elite Networking Group and spotlighting their extensive network of dynamic entrepreneurs. This week, we take you inside a healing event they hosted at Pier to Point Wellness Center in Point Loma. Led by transformational coach and healer, Shauna Rogers, this was an event the ladies will be talking about for quite some time. Watch this. I just want to thank you guys for coming. It's so fun to be with you again. And then I just want to thank our newest member, Anna. She is the owner of this fabulous place.
Thank you everybody for being here. My name is Anna Fernandez. I'm the owner and director here at Pier to Point Wellness. We are really a community healing and education center that is really for everybody. So all ages, all sizes, everybody. We have daily classes, mat yoga, mat Pilates, aerial yoga. You'll see these things hanging. We do a lot of fun aerial stuff, aerial fitness.
So I'm Shauna Rogers. I know some of you and some of you just by name. I am a energy healer and I am an empowerment guide. At the core, I do this because I believe all of us have that really authentic, unique version of a badass inside, right? We all feel it. Sometimes we let it out, sometimes we don't, and sometimes it's just because we have problems accessing it. So that's why my job is to get all of us out of our heads and then show up as that powerhouse that we truly know we are, that we want to show up as.
Let yourselves go here. Just fully release, relax, go away.
For more information on Elite Networking Group, you can go to their Facebook page, facebook.com/elitenetworking.org. We are so excited that things are opening up again and people are starting to travel. We head over to Nashville, Tennessee to spotlight several fun things you can do on your vacation there. We highly recommend some history and some wine tasting at Belle Meade Winery. Belle Meade was the premier breeding farm for American thoroughbreds in the South for over a century. The Harding and the Jackson families hosted U.S. presidents, fabled American frontiersmen, and our nation's foremost business tycoons. They were literally renowned for their hospitality and celebrated as architects of the American racehorse. And if you could see this place to believe it, it's just absolutely breathtaking. Today, Belle Meade welcomes guests from all over the world, carrying on the family tradition of a monument to Southern culture and a steward of the lessons of history. The Belle Meade Winery was founded in 2009 as a nonprofit fundraiser for the continuing preservation of the site. They honor the legacy of winemaking in the American South with traditional muscadine and blackberry wines, as well as produce a full library of red, white, and sparkling wines inspired by Europe's rich winemaking culture. Watch us try them all. We're at Belle Meade today. This is an amazing winery. It's one of the oldest ones. It's in the Belle Meade area, outside of Nashville by Brentwood. We're going to take you inside today.
Where are we?
Belle Meade! Okay, I'll be traveling in this carriage. I'll see you when I get there. Hi, gorgeous. Hi. Oh yeah, so you get a complimentary wine tasting after you do your tour. Look how pretty.
All of them made down here in Tennessee. The first two of them are going to be more of a dry European style of wine, but the last two will be sweet Southern wine. So if you're a big sweet wine fan like me, just hang in there, okay? I promise you, it's worth the wait, I promise you. We're going to start out with a little white wine today. It's called Carriage House White. This is the third one down on the left side of your tasting notes. 2016 Merlot, they're called Founder's Red. It's down in the bottom section of your tasting notes on the right-hand side. It has a picture of Mr. John Harding on the right. So this is... won an award for it in 1871. So this is our homage to her.
I'm trying my first muscadine, and I like it. So I'm loving the sparkling Riesling, my pick here. Izzy, what's your pick?
Well, I accidentally picked something from Lodi, California. Tried to get the Tennessee wine, but it's still really good.
Oh, yes. You guys, this is like wine tasting at its finest. For more information on Belle Meade, you can go to belmeadewinery.com. For more on these stories, head on over to the website, thepulsesd.com. Make sure to follow us on social media at thepulsesd for all the behind-the-scenes fun. We'll see you next time when we put our finger on the pulse of San Diego.